All right, all right. We are back at the podcast studio in beautiful Belmont, New Jersey. I have a very special guest on today. Guy's got a fancy hat and everything. We got Chuckie. Chuckie, what's going on?
Everything's good, man. It's
I've-
Chuckie Hype. I'm with Tom Hype. Here
There
we go.
you go. I love it. I love your shirt.
Thank you.
Dude, I've known you for a long time. And recently, within the last 6 months, you've retained our company to do some work for you. So I thought it was a good time to get you on the podcast, talk about all the changes you're making, how your business is expanding, what you're doing, and kind of it's not all been butterflies and rainbows and great. So there's been some hustle and struggles along the way to keep you going, but that's part of being the business owner.
For sure. Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, we have been probably back in, I believe it was April. You know what it was? I started getting in the mix with a book club, believe it or not. And so, and there's a gentleman, Jeremy, who's in the real estate business.
He's a good guy.
Like Jeremy. And the reason I got into this book club over in the I'd say the southern Monmouth County area was for a good friend of mine. His name is Justin Latano. And Justin is in the financial industry. He's been a guy that's really kind of helped me for really the last, I'd say, 10 to 15 years, kind of like asset allocate my finances and things of that nature. And so Justin and I built a relationship, and he started a book club called Books, Beans, and Brotherhood.
Okay.
And it's been awesome because, a bunch of us young entrepreneurs are getting together, and a lot of guys that would be great candidates too for this opportunity. But when I met with Justin, I met with the book club. We started with How to Win Friends and Influence People, and moved on to different books. We just finished Atomic Habits, and we're kind of moving and grooving. But when he introduced me and I made friends with some of the guys, and Jeremy, I was talking to him. We went and grabbed a cup of coffee, and we started talking about how we could help each other's business. And he referred me over to you. And I said, "Oh man, I know Tom for a long time too, with the trolley business and all this good stuff." And ultimately, I said, "You know what? I think it's time to kind of really try to do an evaluation of who I am and who we are, and what's the identity of Fresh New Angle." And ultimately, you guys set me up with Mark, and he came in and really kind of secret shopped my team. It was an anonymous sort of. I've got about 30 or 40 different people that work with me or around me, and probably about 10 or so people that are in like the management with Fresh New Angle. And he kind of asked them for the good, the bad, the ugly about me and how Fresh New Angle processes and this and that. And I got a grade. And, he said I graded well, but there were areas where we can improve. And I said, thank you, because ultimately we want to scale the business.
Yeah.
I want to scale the business. And
you have the ability to.
100%. Oh my gosh. I have so many great people in my business that
I love your business. I think it's great.
We get paid to party.
Yeah.
The DJ, the photo, the video, and all that good stuff. That's obviously Fresh New Angle. If you're not, aware of who we are, we're a full service event company. We focus on weddings, but we do all events, right?
Yep.
So DJ, photography, video, photo booths, uplighting, production, all this stuff, and so, we've had a stable growth over the last 10 to 11 years.
Okay.
And the company has really done really well. Back in 2020, I bought out some of the partners that I had, which was really awesome, but scary, but awesome. But I have a very, very strong foundation in my faith, and that really propels me to know that I'm good. God is good, and He's got a plan for me. That might not be for everybody, but for me, my faith and my family and my wife and my core believe in what we're doing. And so when I took my medicine, I took the information that Wingman gave to me, and I said, okay, all right, so there's some things that I got to get out of the way of.
Yeah.
All right. And so now we're there.
Every owner, though, is in that same boat. They're part of the bottleneck, especially on guys that grew their business from a single man show, myself included. And again, I try to move. And lately, I've been trying even harder than ever to delegate more, and it's hard. It's hard because again, I know you. Even when that first call came in, and I said to Mark, "I'll help you with it. I'll give you." But you talk to Chuckie. But again, it's the same kind of thing. If it's hard to scale, it's hard to grow, it's hard to help more people. When you're in every detail, and again, you want to do the best thing, but you're like if Andrew just took it over, it'll be done in 5 minutes versus I'll get to it in 30 minutes.
So true. So true. I'm finally trying to get away from my old spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I got a spreadsheet. Literally, the conversation was yesterday because we hired our assistant manager, Keith, who has been with me in the past in a smaller role, and we were able to kind of understand and come to an agreement that there's a bigger opportunity here, a full-time opportunity. And you know, it's funny because yesterday Karin and Rachel's my beautiful wife. She is amazing. She's been in the office too a couple days a week, kind of really helping be another set of eyes and handling some of the administrative things. But Karin's been with me for years now. She was one of the best hires we've ever made about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And she's in that kind of part-time role, but it's been a phenomenal position. And now when we have these, Keith comes in and now he's going to oversee the whole thing on top of handling, other projects and things of that nature. And they looked at my spreadsheet and they said, I think it's time. We got to put this thing to rest. So yesterday I made the commitment to move away from my 11-year-old spreadsheet, and I'm feeling free. I'm a little nervous, but I'm feeling free.
No, it is.
I love my spreadsheet.
I totally feel you, and I'm a spreadsheet guy myself. It's just that.
It's a blanket.
It's the blanket. And again, when you built your business, you built it off that spreadsheet. Like, so you feel good about the spreadsheet.
I still have like the notes from like back when we first started, back in my first party, 2013 with Fresh New Angle. And I'm like, I look back at it and it's nostalgia, but I understand that's bottlenecking me too.
Yep. But you got to think, like, you get paid to party. You get paid. People pay you to do something so fun.
It's wonderful. I want to back up a minute and just kind of give some credit to, when I came into this thing, I was 16 years old, and there were some great companies. And, there was a gentleman, his name's Ozzy, who has been a staple in our industry for years. And him and his team, they took me under their wing, a little too cool, high school kid. They called me like the yo-yo guy because I thought I was a rapper.
Yeah.
I thought I was everything, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And it was funny when they put me out there at the time. It was participation dances were like the thing. And we had to do like had to know the dollar wine dance, the Cupid Shuffle wasn't around, but the electric slide and all these different things. And I remember that was the thing. We were even like dressed in like sequenced like tuxedos. It was awesome. But I learned how to entertain. And him and a group of other guys who are still in business, doing great things, and other, still great companies, and which gives me confidence to know that if those guys are still around, helping people enjoy the best days of their life, then a guy like me who's learned from that and taken some new angles at this game can stick around for a while. But yeah, it's been wonderful. I learned how to like really entertain, and I got to tell you, I think that there's no AI that can take away from what we do as an entertainer.
Yeah.
You can program things with an AI, you can kind of look at, suggested playlists but there's still somebody that needs to know how to transition the music, know how to get in and out of the music, know how to when to hold it, when to fold it, meaning sometimes a song needs to be played a little longer, sometimes it needs to be dialed back, sometimes an MC needs to really engage and get involved more.
And you get the crowd going, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love watching your lives because you get people like doing things that maybe they didn't want to do, like nothing illegal, but you get them on the dance floor. Like maybe they were just happy, just kind of just sitting around, just talking, but you get them out there, you get them doing it and having a good time. And again, I think when you look at a wedding or some of your other kind of parties, like they want to have fun. It's just they're like nervous. They need a little kick in the ass.
You know what? It's fun. It's fun you say that because you know what I tell when I'm on the phone or the Zoom call or the office talking to somebody and I want to kind of understand their vision. I like to say to them, my job, our job, because it's not just me.
No.
My MCs that we've trained and developed, some of them have superpowers that are better than mine or different than mine, and I've picked up so many different tricks from my DJs, from my MCs, and a lot of what I do is a collaboration of the things I've seen and heard. However, with that said, I like to say, all right, on a scale from 1 to 10, people are either on a 1, they're just like, oof, they're one step from the grave, and 10, they're like the people that, well, they're like me, and they're sending it, full send mode. However, my job, I tell them, is to take people that are a 1 and get them to just sit up in their seat. Okay, people that are a 3, bring them to a 6 or 7, and people that are a 7 that are kind of on the fence, my job is to bring them to a 10. And those cuckoo birds that are like me, that are a 10, my job is to send them through the roof.
Yep.
And that's what we want to do. That's my motto. Literally, what I teach our MCs and DJs is how do we entertain? How do we get the most out of our group?
Yeah, and it's awesome because you get them motivated to have a great time.
Thank you.
So now, as you look as your business, you said you have other MCs and DJs. So what's the plan to continue to grow this organization that you've done such a great job of getting to this point?
Sure. Well, first off, I definitely, and I appreciate you saying, I guess I get the credit, but in reality, the only reason we were able to build this thing to where it's at today is because of the tremendous passion and talent that surrounds me.
Yeah.
1,000,000%.
And you know what's great as an owner, that you realize and recognize and give the credit back, because I think a lot of times guys feel like they did it on their own. Like without the team, there's no I in team.
No, listen, big picture. Because of what I can do, all right, I'm gonna be able to survive. But that's not what we're trying to do in this world.
Yeah.
Meaning this, I could own, the business, and I'm gonna always be able to find work, God willing, personally. But that's not how I gain freedom to be with my child, to be with my beautiful wife, to be with my family, to have the flexibility to not have to be at, 80 events, a year. I can pick and choose the ones I want. But the key is trying to find ways to get all of my guys and girls to get what they need. We have a plan in place where I'm trying to create $100,000 earners inside my organization between people who can sell, people who can video, who can photography, who can do entertainment, because as you know, we're the full gamut. I mean, it's fun to talk about entertainment because that's kind of like my superpower.
And that's the fun part of
the
job.
Sure. But my photographers, my videographers, and we'll get to them, they are super talented as well. And so our goal is that how do I get, 5 or 6 people to, at the end of the year, make $100,000 or more? And that's kind of my mindset. And so we can get there many different ways. And we're creating incentives and things like that, because ultimately, obviously, if the tide rises, right, the boats rise with. Right.
Absolutely.
And so, if I could get you to a 6-figure income, obviously, I'm overriding that, right?
Yeah.
But you're not mad at me because you're getting yours.
Yeah.
And so my goal is too, and I try to learn, what are the goals of each individual inside my group, and how do I help them achieve that goal? And so it's been awesome. And like I said, it's the people around me. I understand, and I'm working on, being better at sort of empowering people to use their superpowers, but then taking the things away from them that aren't their strengths.
Yep.
And the same thing's true with me. And Mark and your team have helped me realize that if I kind of get out of my own way a little bit, kind of stay in my lane should be kind of doing things like this. My lane should be going and building venue relationships with some of the amazing venues out there. My goals should be to be doing more charitable work, right? It should be being out and about more than being behind the desk.
And that's not really your forte.
No.
I mean, you have the spreadsheet, of course.
Sure.
But other
that
than
spreadsheet's going to go on my wall someday. I'm going to put
But
it on
other
my
than
wall.
that, I mean, you're an outgoing guy. You're the front. You're the front of the house.
Sure.
You're not the back of the house.
Right.
There's guys that could do the spreadsheets better.
Oh yeah.
And do the social, and do the blog writing.
100%.
And that's not you're the front of the house. You got to be out there meeting people, because the more people that you meet, the more people want to do business with you.
Yeah, it's been a recipe that's been that's worked for years. Anytime I've been out and about, whether I'm coaching my kids' thing or whether
He's a
I'm
character too.
Charlie.
I saw a video of him the other day. With,
He's doing his inventions.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, Charlie is special, and I give, my wife. Wow, I'm gonna just give her, just another shout out. Rachel, she from day one has been just such an amazing mother. The way that the time and the energy that she's able to devote to Charlie, and not just Charlie, we have a couple nieces and nephews that are very, very, very close to our family. So much so that they're pretty much our kids. And we actually have one of our beautiful niece that's living with us, and it's wonderful. We're watching like a beautiful like kind of change in even her demeanor and things. From kind of like some of the last couple of years on maybe a situation that kind of she was in, but now that she's with us, we're just seeing somebody who's looking to shine. And my wife just put the time and energy. I mean, we literally, I think we're pretty strict in a way, because I mean, my kid doesn't get like any screen time. I mean, to the point where it's sometimes you might feel like, are we like really hurting them by like not giving them a little bit, but we just stay firm, and we're like, listen, you're gonna use your imagination, you're gonna use your brain, you're gonna think about ways to kind of do things. And here it is, a day he's playing downstairs by himself, not on a tablet, not on a nothing, and just kind of coming up with a cool idea. And he's 7 years old. It's fun. He did a cool thing. If you look at my social media, maybe you'll see it. It's funny, but little things like that. It just blesses my heart. But all the credit goes to the amazing work that my wife does, and I credit our business to be able also to allow that, right? Because she gets to be really, we'll call it the stay-at-home mom, but she's much more than that. She totally runs the home, but also now she's working 2 days a week in the office. So it's good because there's flexibility, but we have somebody who can be like completely dedicated to the family. And I just, wow, it's so amazing.
But you know what? Like, let's hit on that for a second.
Sure.
So you've built a business and an organization that allows you the freedom to have your wife spend time raising your child.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners, when you think about what it is that you want to get out of that business, that's a great outcome.
That's the goal, right? So I remember, I think Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I remember reading that years ago. I've always had an entrepreneur mindset, but it was the quadrants, right? And it was the employee. Which is all these four quadrants are fine, and for different people, they're wonderful quadrants. There was the employee, there was the business owner, there was the person who owns the business. There's the investor, and then there was the situation that I believe we're in now, is that scaling opportunity, and the business owner kind of owns the business, but they own the job.
Yeah.
Right. The pizzeria guy, possibly, whatever. He's got to be there all the time.
Yeah.
Got to be there all the time. And there's there's freedom, but there's not. Right. The job guy, he's working for somebody. There's limitations. There's a ceiling. Okay. The investor's beautiful place to be. Of course, I love that. And then there's the person who's building the systems. And we live within our means. Okay. We don't want for all these like extravagant things. My home is a very modest home. It's a ranch. It's nothing spectacular, but it's spectacular for us. We don't, but as we can scale, we can increase in certain areas, but we are very prudent, I think, in how we use our money. And again, credit that to
Justin, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's fantastic.
His son was on the podcast. Gio doing his talking about his pickles last week.
Was he?
Yeah. If you look at the last podcast, it was actually released yesterday. Gio came on sitting in your seat and spoke for 15 minutes. But I love what he's done with Gio is from gardening to investing. Like Gio takes some of the profits that he makes from selling his pickles and he invests in stocks.
Dude, that's wonderful. We just started Charlie. We got him on the payroll. He's 7 years old, and we got him started on a Roth IRA.
Good.
Yeah, we're he comes to bridal shows from time to time. He hands out business cards.
Good.
He's adorable. Fall's coming, so we are very strict with our bedtime. My guy's getting ready for bed by 7:30. I know we might hear some flack for that, but he just. And so, my bridal show started that time, so he's
Yeah.
not going to be working in the fall. Maybe on some Sunday shows, but
Yep.
but little Charlie Hype he also likes music. He likes the drums and things like that. We'll see whatever he wants to do. We play. If he wants to be around the business, that's great.
Yep.
If not, it's fine. But yeah, it's I'm getting excited to kind of try to introduce him to some entrepreneur ideas like Gio
Yep.
is doing, because that's the way to do things. He understands he's got to do things to kind of earn some money.
But it's great that like they start to see it, like the fact that Gio like knew that he invested in some different stocks, and he threw his mom under the bus. He goes, "Oh, I bought Amazon because we get a lot of packages to the house." I thought that was so funny.
Plug for Amazon. I mean, what the heck? We do the same thing. It is something else, right?
Yep.
Oh boy, I think we got the Amazon credit card, so we get the extra % back when we buy it. Because
Yep.
what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
So I mean, it's totally funny, but that's great that he's learning at a young age from his dad about what it is. But I think also, really how you said it, like that Kiyosaki four quadrants. But again, a lot of you could either have you're a W-2 employee, you're great, you're there, you do your thing, you own a business. But a lot of business owners, especially locally, they own a job.
I meant to say it was employee, self-employed owns a job. Business is where we're at.
Yep.
That's what the goal.
And then
then
invest.
investor. Yep. For sure.
And I think that business goal, getting there is success. Like, so again, I remember when I quit my job 15 years ago, I said, I just wanted to own a business. But I really, at that point, was buying the job. I was saying, I'm leaving corporate America. I'm not going to be working for the man. I'm going to work for myself.
Yeah.
But all I was the business owner.
Yeah.
Now, as you grow and gain employees, and you grow and you look at other businesses, then you start to get into that business owner category, like that category where you're scaling and you're trying to do these things, and it's hard.
Oh yeah, because now we have to understand now how to manage all these amazing personalities, right? That we have, and and that's a new skill that trying to understand and learn, because each amazing person in our organization ticks a different way.
Yeah.
And so it's our job.
You can't manage the same way.
We have to. It's all different, right? And so and you're trying to keep the same standard, obviously, but there's certain avenues where you can talk one way to this player, and I look at it as like a manager for like a sports team.
Totally.
You have a baseball team. You have, let's say, 9 players, and each one of them really has to do their job. Right, but they're all different skill sets, mindsets, diva levels, all this. Mm-hmm. One guy's gonna run out every ground ball, right? Like my boy Brandon Nimmo doesn't stop. I'm a Met fan. Whatever, it is what it is. And that guy just boom, boom, boom. He's always hustling, even when he's not he's not going good. Then you got some of my superstars. I got my Soto. The guy's on base percentage is off the roof. The guy's superstar. They're calling it a down year, but he's got like 30 homers and like 80 RBI. Yeah. Like, we'll take it. He'll find his path. But he hits a ground ball to second base and he barely runs. Now the thing is, I know he turns it on and turns it off when the postseason comes, but as a manager, you got to understand, where you're going, right?
And everybody's got to be managed different. And some things that if you say it one way to one person, they're going to take it a different way than somebody else. Some people love to thrive under pressure.
Right.
Some people hate the pressure. Some people want to have everything done by Tuesday for a Friday event, whereas other people, Friday at 4, they're like, "Get me the list."
Yo, you're so true, and I'm not gonna throw any names under the bus, but I'm just thinking about in my team. I've got the DJs that the playlist is all set, it's ready to go, they're ready to go, and I got the guys that they're 5-star review guys. They're always getting 5 stars, but like they need to operate with like last minute vibes.
They're on the way to the event, programming the playlist.
Hey, not our company. But yeah, like I said, if you look, these guys, and they're just, every one of them though 5-star, but they just get it their own way. And so like I remember trying to change, let's say, this one person, and I just I just had to kind of throw my hands up and say, you know what, either I gotta if I'm gonna keep rolling with this person, we're gonna have to compromise, and we did, but otherwise I gotta make a move. But it's been wonderful, and like and those other guys that are so prepared, it's just a different animal. But at the end of the day, the jobs are always getting done right,
Yeah.
and so yeah,
Everybody's got to, but again, I think that that's a huge part of management, because if you go back 10 years ago, you'd be like, F this, I'm doing it my way.
Yeah.
And now you have to say, like, that's not the way to do it.
Yeah.
Or that's not the way to do it with success. You could do it that way,
Yeah.
and you're going to churn people, and you're going to constantly be looking, or you have to look back and say, all right, how do we work together? How do we make this work? And again, I think, employees in a way are like a partnership, because again, you can't do it without them.
No.
They can't do it without you.
100.
So you have to figure out how to work together. Otherwise, it's never going to work.
One of the things that I'm excited about too is, and your team has helped me really understand and realize with my sales team, we have now moved into a goal incentive system that is quarterly. Okay. And in the past, it was monthly. Basically, we set we set goal, and then we kind of had them, if they hit certain thresholds, they were able to get little bonuses, and it added up, but it didn't add up to what it is now. My sales team has the opportunity to literally make an additional 7% on top of what they're already making for doing the same work. Like, that's unheard of. Most companies in my arena, if they have a sales team, they're not offering more than 5% commission in total. Now, I'm not going to tell you where we start our commission at, which is better than 5%. But on top of that, we have an incentive that when you hit your quarterly goals, right, you can make an additional 5, 6, 7%. And I appreciate your team for helping me understand that. I mean, there's guys that are going to make an extra $8,000 for doing the same work when they hit their goals.
Yeah.
And so it's funny, because when I introduced this, I got a little pushback, because it's the little change to the way it was.
Yeah, no one always likes.
Oh, I gotta tell you,
change.
I've got some amazing people that, and I understand. You kind of have. It was the Wild Wild West a little bit, the way we sort of ran things.
Oh, yeah.
But now we're really building a scalable system, and really you just got to insert the proper talent into the scenario, and you're setting yourself up for success. So I was very excited about that. And then the other big thing was, it's not how, but who. And that was actually a book that we read in our book club.
Yeah, who, not how.
Yeah, who, not how. Yeah, and that, I started reading that book right when I found Wingman. It was like, hello.
Perfect.
So I was like, Wingman, okay, you're my who. And then Wingman has shown me who, that I have to delegate to my other who's. And so now we really have a system that's in place. And, I'd say we got backtracked about a month in what we were trying to do for a myriad of reasons. There were a few things that administratively really forced my attention in other areas. I actually, believe it or not, I actually fell for a scam.
What?
But the end of the story is a good one, because we ended up getting compensated back for everything that was taken. But yeah, I mean, I'll own it. I had saw a charge in my account, because there's so many different charges.
Totally.
We're signed up for this person and that and this and that, and so a lot of things are on auto pay.
Yeah.
And and there is a real scam. Like, I actually just had somebody make a purchase for some vacation club in Disney. Nobody to do with my organization. The bank already stopped it, the whole thing. So now I got to change my credit cards again. So now I'm getting like, there's the devil trying to come in again. So I have another little setback, but this one was bigger. I actually thought I was talking to my bank. I had a charge that was in my mind that I wanted to talk about. And as I was thinking about calling my bank,
They called you.
my bank called me. Wow. Crazy, right? Like, so I was on the phone with New York, workers' compensation because, I have some employees, this and that. And so like my brain was, and this can happen to anybody. My brain was thinking, workers' comp issue, let's work. Well, like I had a guy that I hired 5 years ago and they're trying to come after me for whatever. And the things that happen like behind the scenes, it's like, and so, it was like time consuming. And at the time I had to be on the hold with them. So I'm on hold with them. I get the call from Bank of America. I'm like, oh, perfect. The fraud charge. Bank of America isn't gonna call, and so I ended up following the bouncing ball, give them the code, Zelle code.
Oh.
They hit me up. They hit the personal and they hit the business.
Oh.
Big numbers. Big numbers. Fortunately, we have a big safety net and the whole thing and blah blah blah. But that's not the point. The point was now I'm derailed, right? Now I gotta fight for the money back, which I was able to get back a couple months later. Praise God. But then you gotta everything's attached to the bank account, and so now all new bank accounts, all new this. Anytime money's coming in, this and that. So that was a month of like that
Headaches.
on top of a company vehicle that got cuckoo, there this and that, but perseverance, stick to itness, just kind of stayed with the plan, and got through it. And, here we are now implementing these systems and we're really on pace to 2X our business. I want a 3X, 4X, but 2X is fine.
Yep.
If we 2X our business, we're going to have another, 6-figure earner in our company.
Yeah.
And so that's
great.
That's the goal.
That's great.
That's the goal. How do you get yours in my company?
That's fantastic. I love it. I love your energy. I love what you're doing, and I think that's great. But again, it's not all perfect. There's some headaches along the way.
Woo-wee.
But I think that
you want to own a business. Okay, there's a lot. It's a lot.
there's a lot to it. But again, you took a business of something you enjoyed doing.
Oh my gosh, that's the best part.
Like it's not like I hate when I see people say, "Well, what's the best place I can make money?" Like you got to do this for 30 years, 40 years. Like I don't want just the best place. I want something that I enjoy doing.
It's so true. It's so true. And it really is. I said something to my wife, the other day. I was like, if you, and we've all said it before and heard it before, but if you love what you do, you're not working a day in your life. I mean, I'm gonna say that's like 80% true because
Always.
I love what I do. And I work 20%, I think, because there's definitely the work part.
Yeah.
There's the,
The workers' comp call that you were just talking about.
there's the work part. There's the, all of a sudden there's a new thing with sparklers, and now New Jersey wants to charge you $500 just to get a permit to go to certain places. And then on top of that, they want to get you this new insurance.
Yeah.
Wow. And so we sell the sparklers for a certain number and like last year, and like all of a sudden it's like going to cost me an extra $500 to run the sparklers that I sold. That's life. That's business. Am I going to sit there and no, I'm just going to find a way to keep going.
Keep going.
Where our business, again, we're able to recover from any of these setbacks when they happen, but we're also, praise God, and we're also able to enjoy the fruits of the good times.
That's great. So this was a great conversation. I'm so glad you came on.
I love it.
This was better than I thought it was going to be.
I'm happy to jump on again. I've been looking forward to this, and I think this is my first podcast in a long while. I don't even remember when I really got to it, but this is definitely something I want to continue to do more of with people, and I'll refer you to some cool business people that I think that would do well on something like this. But it's been an honor.
Fantastic. Well, as we wrap up, let people know where to find you
Sure.
online, on your website, on social, etc.
Cool. So it's Fresh New Angle Events. You can find us at Fresh New Angle, all one word, on the Instagram. Fresh New Angle on Facebook, TikTok, same thing. You want to follow me too? It's DJ Chuckie Hype. It's a good time. But we're out there. You can find us at bridal shows all over the state. We're constantly investing and being out around at the different bridal show companies. You're going to be able to kind of see and feel the experience if you come there. But DJ, photography, video really are the three masterpieces that I feel that we have done a wonderful job of corralling under one umbrella. We're not a DJ company that has a photographer. We're not a photo company that has some DJ. We literally are three separate entities under one umbrella. And the work speaks for itself. I have so many talented people, and they keep coming to me. Guys that own their own company, that if you hired them on their own, they're far more expensive. We've worked out a situation where we've been able to get a more fair and, well, not fair, a more competitive price, because all of these people are worth every dollar. But because we're doing the heavy lifting and they just got to basically show up and be fabulous
You're
on that
finding the
day,
customers.
they'll work at
Yeah.
a reasonable rate for me because of the consistent work. And so you're going to get, these A-list photographers, A-list videographers, A-list entertainers all under my umbrella. And when you keep the whole team together, you get kind of like a choreographed dance, because everybody knows where everybody's going to be. And it really is seamless. I'm so blessed, man. I love it. I can't wait to get back to work, today as well, and keep the line moving. But happy to kind of come back on whenever you need me. Appreciate
Thank
you,
you.
Tommy.
Thank you for everything.
And keep up the good work with
Awesome.
with Wingman as well.
Thank you. Great to have you.
All right.